What's up, everyone? This is Jeremy from Five Finger Death Punch, and you're listening to Toxic Radio. Don't play it safe, play it toxic.
In the beginning, there was radio.
The radio is one of the outstanding developments of the 20th century.
A radio transmitter was used for large-scale public entertainment.
Then came computers.
You gotta keep up with the times, you know.
Imprints of man's never-ending path of progress.
Back in my day, we didn't have no fancy computer boxes to use.
Shall we play a game?
The internet tied it all together.
The internet gave us a whole world of exciting new possibilities.
A bright new era dawning. A new dimension in communications.
It is possible to establish communication instantaneously from any place at any time.
And now it's the 21st century, and we've made it all toxic.
Hold on to your hats.
Okay, we're ready to roll.
This is Toxic Radio. Don't play it safe. Play it toxic.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, buddy. Rah. Hey, man, that's a sweet heavy metal happy hour t-shirt. Where'd you pick that up?
Thanks, dude. I got it at the Toxic Radio shop.
Toxic Radio has a shop?
Yeah, dude. It's in the app or online at toxicradio.net.
That is sweet.
Yeah, and I also got a rockin' Toxic Radio hoodie and a Red Band Underground shirt. Dude, I'm gonna look so rockin' at the party tomorrow.
Well, I think you look pretty now.
Oh, wait, what?
The Toxic Radio shop is a place to get all your Toxic Radio gear. Shirts, hoodies, stickers. Find it at toxicradio.net or on the app. Don't buy it safe. Buy it toxic. Hey, where you going, man? While you're rocking with us at Toxic Radio, don't forget to check us out on social media.
I want details, and I want them right now.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Now you're talking, brother.
Chat with us, keep up on news. Just don't make it weird. Don't be a stalker. Don't be that guy.
You just want to suck the joy out of everything.
Toxic Radio. Get infected.
Hey, this is Kel Mitchell, and you're listening to Toxic Radio. Uh-oh, it's getting toxic. Yo, you want to talk about this, but you gonna come like that?
Oh, no, yo, don't.
Yo, I heard you try to diss, man. You trying to rap?
Oh, no, yo, don't.
Homie, I'm just saying, you should chill like.
Oh, no. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're so awesome.
You understand what the words that's coming out of my mask? What's up, y'all? Hey, I need y'all to share this broadcast. We are looking for a record amount of people in the chat room. You guys in the chat room always do great. Y'all always bring in good people in your share. I'm asking y'all to share this thing so we can have a lot of people in, because I know you have a lot of questions, because we have no other than my buddy. I'm going to introduce him in a minute, but I just wanted to say I missed you guys. It's been 2 weeks since I've been in the Toxic Radio studio. I'm in here, ain't going nowhere, and I cough on everything. No, I'm just playing. Nah, just joking. So now that we have his attention, I don't want to give you a heart attack early. I'm going to let Safetyman give you a heart attack.
I want Safetyman to teach me how to shoot. I was just saying that to her.
Yep, we're going to get into all that.
Can do.
I've been getting kill shots straight at the axe places.
Oh, nice.
I'm not kidding.
Oh, my God.
Toxic Mike, are you there?
Yes. I'm just being very quiet as I listen to you say how you're going to cough on everything.
Yeah, you like, but your eyeball said it all. Like, oh shoot!
Yeah, we cough on everything. My mother will come here in 2 seconds and smack your ass up and
I've been
down.
on Toxic Mom's good side. I want to stay there. You know,
Toxic Mom would appreciate the gifts.
Hey,
yeah. I should make her a gift bag. I'll make her the same one.
She would appreciate the gift, but she wouldn't appreciate him saying what he said.
Back once again.
This is true.
After 2 weeks layoff.
Mike, did I literally see fear in your eyes when Supreem said that?
No, it was more anger. It's anger. It's like anger, shock. It's like anger and shock. It's not fear. I don't think he's scared. I think he's more is this fool crazy? It's like, because I'm predictable lately. I'm over 50. I'm at the age where I don't give a damn about too much of a lot of things. I'm not impressed easily.
Not impressed easily.
I've been there. I've been done with it before people started having fun with it. You know what I'm saying? and my co-host today, Liz, is back in the building.
Hi.
And we have her special guest and friend, and also a good friend of the show. You made the show very interesting last time. I'm glad you came back. I never thought you was going to be that live, but give it up for Liz, too. No, I'm just saying, people get on here and get shook.
Okay, actually call me Lizzie Love. That's my stage name.
Lizzie Love. All right.
And we got the man of the hour, too hip to be sour. Give it up for my brother, Safetyman.
All right, Preem. Thanks. Good looking out.
AKA Corey Jones in the building. Hey, Liz been asking about you for a year straight. How about we get Safetyman?
Because I want to learn how. Because I learned how to do the kill shot with the axes and the hatchets, and now I want to learn with a gun.
Safetyman, do you deal with?
I'm being real.
Do you deal with hatches and stuff too?
Yeah. I can train people.
I'm so
too, yeah.
Is that part of your training?
I have to go to a separate building, but yeah, we can do that.
That's awesome. I go to the hatchet places, bury the hatchet.
Yeah.
And I literally win T-shirts because I'm really good at the kill shot.
All right,
Liz, Liz, if you're ever able to shoot, I'm running for the hills.
I mean, but this is what we here to talk about tonight, because Safetyman has been promoting lately a lot of gun training. I mean, he has machine guns, pistols, rifles, shotguns, and he has a clientele of people from all walks of life that are asking for lessons on shooting. And I myself, who has acquired a couple of guns, and I want to train, and I want to go to the range and shoot them. And I called Safetyman, and he said, yeah, let's do it. So I'm just trying to find the time.
We should take a field trip. We should take a field trip one day.
That'll be fun.
A toxic
Mike, you want to shoot?
Trip.
Grab your buddy.
Mike,
for
you
real?
Want to shoot?
Everybody hold hands.
I would probably be down for that. I've never even shot a gun.
Ever?
We should do all of them, like obstacles. Like we should do hatchet throwing guns.
Oh, she done took it too far.
I know. Are we holding guns with obstacles? What is going on here?
I'm just saying.
Popsicles.
I'm sorry.
I can do it in VR.
I mean, you never shot a gun?
No, never.
I've shot
never.
I've shot pistols. I've shot Glock. I've shot a shotgun when I was a kid. We had a shotgun. I shot.
How was your shoulder after that?
It was good. I had a little 22 shotgun.
I can make it so your shoulder won't hurt.
Nah, because I wasn't told
Which
the
one?
first time I shot a shotgun. I was not told to watch my shoulder, and
You must have had that cockback one, because that thing knocked your whole shoulder blade off.
I train you so it won't hurt.
Do you have to pad it?
It says all of them have a little bit of padding on it now.
Just the tip, just a little bit.
Just put the tip in?
Yeah.
No comment.
Show goes left again. So Safetyman.
Yes, sir.
What the hell?
Give them your background real quick, so they don't think we got some crackpot on here. Let them know let them know your whole extensive background of, why are you qualified to tell everybody about all this safety and shoot.
Totally. Well, thanks for that great introduction, Preem. And how you and I met was on my TV show on RVN TV.
Shout out Damon Feldman.
Yeah, and then I got shocked with a taser with our mutual friend Damon Feldman.
He has the best eyebrows.
Who, me?
No, Damon. He has the best eyebrows.
And I was talking about me, and I'm not even.
I was like, I'm
the one who's talking. Talk about my eyebrows.
No one said anything about my eyebrows. Yo, I've been getting a lot of Safetyman's cute.
Oh yeah.
I said somebody. I ain't gonna say no names, but somebody that's in the chat room now. I was like, she's like, Safetyman's coming tonight, and all you seen was. I said, yeah, he's coming tonight, and all you seen was, Like, I said, why you say that? Like he's a piece of rib, but he's delicious.
His wife is hot too.
Oh, she is. Yeah. She reminds me of Bridget Nielsen.
Oh my God, yes.
A lot of people say that.
That's who it is. I couldn't figure it out. Yo, I could not figure it out for the life of me.
So go ahead, tell me about your
Barry. Well, I got lucky.
Get off on Damon eyebrows.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry.
Eyebrows and stuff like that.
I just came from work. I don't have any on. I'm sorry.
It's all good. You good. You're natural.
You're good. We're on radio anyway. So anyway, yeah, I did 27 years in law enforcement in New Jersey, and when I retired, I took all that background, knowledge, skills, and ability. I was blessed to have a lot of training in firearms instruction, defensive tactics, being a public information officer, DARE officer, teaching kids in school. Ran a SWAT team for entire county of Burlington, and was the first municipal taser officer allowed to instruct as New Jersey was the last state in the country to get tasers, I was the first officer to be able to be instruction in that. So when I retired, 2018, started this active shooter training business where I train companies, schools, houses of worship, daycares, how to prevent, prepare for, defend, and recover from an active shooter. That spread out to crisis management. Now I do verbal de-escalation. That's very big. In fact, in New Jersey, the Attorney General said that every law enforcement agency has to have verbal de-escalation training by the end of 2021. I'm hoping to get in on that because I am a certified verbal judo instructor.
That's so cool. Especially Cobra Kai's out.
Oh man, but they do real fighting.
This is we can do that too. But
but this is supposed to be talking to get out of the. Look, check it out. Bring it down without the both parties getting crazy on each other.
Exactly. Enter with empathy. Enter with empathy.
Right now, with that, do you think that has been created from all these Karens that's coming around? You ever heard of the Karens? Like the Karens are on 100.
Yeah,
and they do not like black men.
Yeah, she's the opposite of de-escalation.
Yeah, you know they like. Are you like okay? Because look here, Karen. Like you got to bring Karen down.
You can,
and you got to bring Jerome down, and you got to bring Jerome girl down, and you're the officer, and you got to do this without shooting Jerome.
And don't forget
we
Chad.
have plans for that.
Don't forget Chad in the background. Don't forget Chad.
He don't say,
Chad.
and
Chad's
you can't.
Quiet, isn't he?
Yeah, he don't say nothing. He be like.
I don't know what.
She gives good head.
I don't know what.
That's one reason I'm with her. I didn't know she was going to just start mouthing off all the time, getting me in trouble.
Oh my God.
But you got to keep Veronica from slapping the hell out of Karen.
Yeah, we can separate. So we can separate everybody. Give everybody a mission.
And you can do all that by talking.
Yeah, we can. We can separate everybody. We can give people tasks. We can find out. Hey, can you find your ID?
Give me something to drink.
You know, your mom's about to walk into traffic. Can you go grab her, please? Give people jobs.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
That's good.
And then distract them a little bit, and then I can find out from what's going on.
That's so smart.
Because I'll be shot everybody. That's why you can't give certain people guns. Now, with the gun training, do you train us how to look? Just because you have a gun, don't make you Superman.
We talk.
You cannot just because you have the gun and you got the training, you could throw an axe and knock somebody in the balls. Do not do that first.
No, we don't. I teach my people defensive life. So deadly force is to defend your life, my life, or some other third party from imminent death or serious bodily injury, like an assault or sexual assault, something like that. Deadly force is using that. I make sure my clients understand that.
Now that's
I want to learn. I want to learn how.
That's
to do
Miyagi-Do karate.
I want to learn how to do that. Like if somebody tries to grab me, I want to learn how to like flip them.
Yes, I got a girl for you. Her name is Haven-Defense. Haven-Defense.
You told us about her when we were talking about the girl
human
trafficking, right?
Yeah.
And that was the last thing. Have you ever with pandemic? Which is top priority, mass safety, trying to get rid of corona. Has any of what we talked about before, which really touched my heart, the human trafficking of women and the unsafetyness of women, has that went down? Like for trafficking wise, definitely trafficking. I know the assaults have been crazy on girls, but still. But has the trafficking has that even come down
I think
as far as from your
worse.
numbers?
I don't have the ability to see real numbers anymore because I'm out of government. But when you look at there's this one news channel, I won't give them the time of day, but they do have this running total of how many illegal immigrants have made it across the border, and it's how you can see how the U.S. debt continues to number goes up, and the stock exchange numbers change. These numbers continually change, and unfortunately, a lot of the young ladies and young children that are coming across the border with coyotes or illegally sometimes are attached to that.
Right.
So if that number keeps going up, one can only imagine
sex traffic too.
Isn't that how they pay their way, right?
That's how they say that they're going to pay their way, and unfortunately, can almost never get out of it unless they get arrested. The good thing is,
I met a girl doing that in the strip club.
That's hopefully she can get help. If not,
oh no, this was a long time ago. This was like she was only like 19, and this was like a decade ago. But she's. I have no idea where she is now. But
she's probably married with kids now.
Yeah, hopefully.
The good thing about if we do come across a victim of that, we treat them as victims and not suspects. So even if she is selling her body as a piece of a sexual object to get money, we put them right into the victim witness program with Department of Homeland Security. So we can relocate them, see if we can help them find any kids, family members, or whatever, get them and treat them right to as a victim.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, we've been doing that for a long time now.
See, that's why we have you on here, man. You like you probably been here the most out of all our returning guests. I think you've been on the most time as a returning guest because I am very concerned about the well-being and safety of my fellow American or fellow world member. I'm just a humanist.
I have one question for you, Corey.
Yeah, there you go.
Just because I'm curious. So you said New Jersey was the last state to be able to use tasers.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I just seen something that I forgot to do, and I got to do it before I keep forgetting. So hold your thought. We have a phone number that anybody that wants to call in and ask a question for Safetyman, please call in at 856-485-9565, and it's also in the chat room. So please call us at 856-485-9565. And if you have any, I did it. It's only 15 minutes in, not 3 minutes out. And I also want you to please feel free to ask any question in the chat room, especially you ladies. I want y'all to be the safest. Ladies and children and ladies, I want y'all to be the safest on this planet of ours. So go ahead with your question. That was a good one. Go ahead.
Okay.
You was doing good too.
So what was the reasoning behind the delay? Like, were there any loopholes that needed to be taken care of? Was there any inhibitors to this piece of legislation being able to do anything?
Unfortunately, I can't speak to the political side of it. If there was, obviously, you had to get Republicans and Democrats to agree to change the use of force policy, but mainly New Jersey was just nervous. They were just nervous that they didn't want it to be used as a tool of just pain compliance. They wanted it to be used to control an aggressive assaulting suspect. So our policy was the most restrictive in the country. So when I became an instructor, we actually taught a policy that was more strict than even Taser themselves recommended. They wanted it to be used under less strict circumstances. The policy has since we used it in all the years that I was on the job, we used it within policy, created no deaths, and didn't do anything where we abused anybody with it. So I think it was more they wanted to get it done. They wanted to get it done properly and not make a poor example out of it.
Right. Okay, that's actually really awesome because I study policy, so it's like I was a little curious on that.
That's why we got you here. You're an expert policy giver.
I am not an expert policy giver, but hey, I will have my MPA in May.
Yeah, we got your MPA. I got my VD down in DC.
That's the
Wait,
truth.
What?
That is the truth.
What?
That is the truth.
I was just saying who was paying attention. That's all.
Hold up.
He said that.
I got my VD and PA.
You better stop. I'm going to apologize to Toxic Mom right now for on behalf of Supreme.
She from the 70s and 60s. She
know where it's going. As long as he don't give it to me, we're all good.
Oh my God! No, then Laura will kick your ass. If he gives it to you, then Laura will kick your ass.
And Nita would kick his ass. So I got some backup too, Jack.
I didn't bring enough hatchets.
I know, right? So with the taser thing.
Yes, sir.
You seen a young man in Philadelphia that got shot in West Philly, which caused a lot of unrest.
Mr. Walter Wallace.
Wallace, exactly. He got he was mentally.
He was in crisis at the time.
In crisis, he was going through it. He had a knife in his hand. Mm-hmm. People are upset with Philadelphia because they didn't tase him.
Right.
Now, me personally, I'm gonna be God honest truth. He come at me with a knife, and I got a gun. He shot.
Same.
And that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to start no civil unrest.
No.
See, this is another thing that pisses me off. When it comes to the black people or the people of color, we kill each other all day long. Just don't let no police kill us.
And nobody cares. Nobody marches.
Like the police kill us, then we gonna march. We gonna burn the city down. But if anybody had a gun and Mr. Walter came at them with a knife, they'd have shot him if he stepped on their sneakers.
Absolutely.
So I'm just saying, like, why you think that could have been handled any other way? Even though the officers didn't have a taser on them, I believe that none of them. They said that Philadelphia didn't have enough tasers to give to every officer, so those were the officers that didn't have the taser. Like, what's your assessment of that whole situation? Like, how could you make sure this guy end up in the back?
Trade in the guns for tasers.
Back in the paddy wagon as opposed to in the ground.
Well, the family, the community, the city all has to take responsibility for all the steps, the years of people failing Mr. Wallace, and Mr. Wallace failing himself and his 9 children.
There you go.
Everybody has to hold hands in why this situation suddenly exploded right in the middle of the street.
Right.
You know, all these people that are marching and holding hands, nobody was there to tell Mr. Wallace, hey, maybe you should pull your pants up today. Hey, maybe you shouldn't take that. Maybe you shouldn't smoke this. Maybe you shouldn't rob that. You know, he's been in and out of prison.
Beat your
out
girlfriend
of there.
up.
Exactly. Maybe you shouldn't have restraining orders against him. You know, he threatened to kill the police the first time they went there.
I was about to say, did you realize they called 3 times from the same house? Like, he's out of control.
So when you get to like, I teach de-escalation. Some situations are not de-escalatable. I'll give you a great example. Everybody knows who Cesar Millan is, right? The dog whisperer. Cesar Millan, the dog whisperer. I can pull up episode after episode where he gets bit by dogs. So he's the best dog whisperer in the world, can calm all these dogs, even he gets bit. Some situations are not de-escalatable. And unfortunately for Mr. Wallace, he was so high in crisis for so long during the day. I have not seen his toxicology report yet, but his family member said he was using PCP and not taking his prescription medication. You can't imagine what that mix is going to do to somebody.
Yeah, he had mental health issues. Like he had severe bipolar, or no, schizophrenia or bipolar. It was one of them.
All 4.
Yeah, he was we call him an EDP, an emotionally disturbed person. So he was not operating with all his faculties appropriately at that time. So he's not going to respond to logic. So the best we would try to do in the future, learning from this situation, is try to get everybody in the affected area out. Get everybody away from the affected area. So we don't have to worry about protecting as many people. So it's less likely that he has to perform for people, because sometimes people want to perform. Once they start down a path, or yelling and screaming and whatever, they feel like they have to perform.
The audience.
Get the tantrum
audience out of the way. Kind of like I said earlier with Karen and who else?
Chad.
Veronica, Jared, and Chad. Jerome.
And all the people in your van.
And for some reason, I pictured all of them in a stop and go, just going crazy. But I think that was a justifiable shoot.
I said it on TV. I mean, you know, they interviewed me, and they interviewed a supervisory special agent in charge from the FBI, who also involves use of force cases, and we both agreed it was unfortunate, it was tragic, it was sad. Nobody wanted it to happen.
Right.
But Mr. Wallace left those 2 officers no choice when they told him on body camera more than 11 times to drop the knife.
Right. Now that was.
They did say we will shoot too repeatedly.
I mean, he ran at him. I mean, it's like it ain't like he was like, I'm putting the knife down.
Now,
and you get 6 warning shots.
I have a question. Did you guys hear about the local kid that moved from Runnymede, Glendora to Philadelphia and was shot in his car during the riots?
No.
Yeah. I think his last name was Tom, Toms, like Tom's. I know his sister. Used to work with his sister Julie, and she was actually on the news crying and asking if anybody knows anything about it. Like, he was parked outside of his house during the riots. He just got done work and was just sitting out in his car and got shot.
Like a random bullet came and hit him?
No, like somebody walked up and just
assassinated him.
Shot him.
Murder. That's murder.
Yeah. So they're trying to find any evidence or anything.
Wow, that's crazy. Now, was that during the George Floyd riot?
No, the last one.
The last one.
The last one in Philly, the one that went wild.
The Walter one, I was like, come on now, let's tear the city up right now. Because
I mean, not saying that he don't
deserve a voice or somebody to stick up for him. You could have marched up and down the streets, but to tear West Philadelphia up again
and
again is crazy. Now I haven't talked to you. We haven't talked to you about George Floyd at all, because it's like I keep thinking you've been here.
No,
but we haven't been here over a year. You just said last time you called in was what New Year's Eve?
Yeah, over a year ago.
That was crazy.
Oh wow!
I was at a party. I had to stop drinking until I talked to you.
Yeah, because you couldn't come in.
Familiar.
But you did call, and I appreciate that. But like with the George Floyd thing, everybody has. I mean, I think only thing I say about. I mean, it was wrong. That was wrong. I think that was murder.
That was not policy. That's not something that I would authorize or supervise.
I know gangs that got more sympathy than them cops had for that man.
Yeah.
Now, with those protesters comes something that they want to call defund the police. What do you think about that? Like when we say we defunding the police,
that would be similar in logic to where if my family member went to a hospital and through medical error, she died, and I want to take money from the hospital. That's not going to make the hospital any better.
It's going to make it worse.
Wait a
second. I agree.
Wait. I want to jump in there real fast.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
And I love it. Supreme's like, come on, let's get this going.
But you got to say.
Isn't defund? Now, a lot of people learned about defund the police through this whole scenario.
This thing.
Right, through this thing. A lot of people never even heard of it, knew what it was, and knew how it worked. From my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm guaranteeing that Safetyman knows more about it than I do, but isn't defund the police a method that I believe was already used in Camden as well, which is a method of, yes, you are taking funding from the police, but you're spreading it throughout the community into other areas to bring the community up so that the cops aren't dealing with having to be psychiatrists, therapists, doing stuff that doesn't really go into their wheelhouse so that they can focus more on crimes and other things in whatever area they're in, and taking that money and putting it into programs that'll bring up the community. Isn't that what defund the police means?
So defund the police is a sexy term that came right after George Floyd. Let's punish the police. It came out on the heels of punishing the police.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want them to hire any more police. We want to defund them as punishment because they're not doing what we want them to do. Now, there's truth in what you said as far as police officers are trying to fix the woes of society that we didn't create. I say we, I did it for 27 years, that we didn't create, and that we really don't have the tools to do that. I'm not a trained psychiatrist. I can verbally de-escalate. I can get people hopefully usually calm and safe until an ambulance or a trained psychologist or psychiatrist arrives on location. But I can't do that. I'm not supposed to be delivering babies, but we've had to deliver babies. We're not supposed to be fixing a marriage that's broken and a husband and wife are constantly getting into physical assaults. But we do all those things. Mm-hmm. So by saying that it's the police bloated budget, not overspending in any other part of government, to try and say that it's only the police overspending in their budget that needs to be broken up to fix all these other problems that society has allowed to fester forever and ever and ever under these big city democratic governments. So you look at Baltimore, Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, Philadelphia, all been democratically run for 50 years. They've had these same problems, and all of a sudden they're going to blame the police department and take money out of the police department. If I live in an area where there's a lot of crime, the last thing I want you to do, and you ask these people in these neighborhoods, and they will say the same thing, the last thing I want you to do is de-police or lower the amount of police. We want the same amount of police. We want you to train them better. We want them to be more empathetic. We want them to have all the tools, whether it be tasers or whatever they have, and all those things. We want them to be in the community, be part of the community, be from the community, be responsive to the community. But we also need to have all these other things, after school programs. We need all those men that were marching, when you have people of faith, all different faiths, that were marching for George Floyd or Walter Wallace. They're the ones that need to be out there every day, making sure these kids without fathers are getting good messages and making good choices and not furthering the problem for the next generation to deal with. So that all that money that the city takes in for parking tickets and their budgets and all that needs to be spent more wisely, but don't take away. That's like taking from the TSA. And then you're going to fly in a plane and someone's going to fly into a building and you're going to be mad and say we need more TSA. Okay, so don't steal from your security to make your house better, okay?
Right.
You just got to,
You're just saying better money management as to where everything's
Absolutely.
going from a whole, not just,
Absolutely. It was just a sexy term, defund.
Now, but I agree with everything you said. And again, you're more of an expert than I am. But something to this degree did work, and I'm not saying it's going to work everywhere. I'm not saying it needs to be done everywhere. But it did work in Camden. I remember working in Camden, and the whole thing of the news, this is 10, 15 years ago, however long it was, but was that they fired all the police. And it was like a shock. Everybody's like, oh, my God.
Wait, but they rehired all Metropolitan guys on those little bicycles.
No, wait.
And all on those little hover things.
Wait, follow it.
Because, no, they freaked me out. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I'm sorry.
This is like, they hired back all the guys with the little hats.
No, for real.
Good. It was okay.
Like, they did.
I remember that.
But it freaks me out. Like, when you're trying to, walk on the sidewalk and one of them little hover things is behind you, that shit is irritating.
So, but
but at one point, the worst part of the
Yes,
the
I had court and had to go to Camden, and one of them were behind me, and I freaked out.
The worst city at one point didn't have police.
Right, and that was the biggest thing, was like, holy crap, we're the highest rated crime, and we have no police. But now looking back on that, now everybody understands that they were restructuring. They had to really flush out everybody to get.
Well, there was a lot of crookedness in Camden.
Reset it, right?
There was a lot.
But they also did what we're saying, whereas they took a lot of the money, they repositioned it into better things around the city. got rid of all the bad cops, what they believe were the bad cops, and got the better cops. And
I mean, you're always going to have
when you
good
go
and
down
bad.
Camden, it's not as bad. There are certain parts that are still bad. But it definitely looks better. It looks like it's making a rise. The Sixers just went down there. You go down to the main area. It looks real nice
But
and
that's
pretty.
because they got all the other little mobile people, like the little mobile people on the bikes and the hovers.
So that's more police. That's police where crime.
And,
where
yeah, they're
people
in
go.
the street.
I agree. They're still
So-
they didn't really defund.
One of
now they're just now they're not in cars anymore. Now they're just not in patrol cars. Now they're just on hovers and bikes.
They are in cars. They're doing foot patrol. They're doing
They
bicycle
got little
patrol.
hats.
They do.
They have little hats. They have big hats. They have,
I mean, I'm not trying to be like.
some of them even have hoodies. But
Some of them do. I've seen one with hoodies. It's crazy, right? I'm like, there's a police officer with a hoodie.
police hoodie.
It's crazy.
They call him a detective.
I could have sworn I see one with a
No, that is an undercover, homie. That is the
what I mean.
undercover.
You know what I mean.
Am I wrong?
You know, I don't know nothing about no
See,
police.
that
I
is
don't want nothing to do with no
undercover.
cops.
I could have sworn I see one on a hoverboard with a Batman cape. I
I'm
don't know
not
what was
kidding.
going
They're
on.
like weird hoverboards. Stop it.
With a little hat. You ain't no
with a tiny little
supervisor.
hat back here.
Liz
like out of
Liz-
BC.
Liz knows what I'm talking about because they're
Liz
all around
drives
the
through-
colleges.
She drives through Camden yelling, "Little hat!"
I don't.
Hey, little hat!
I ain't no
do
cop.
not.
I'm security.
First of all, I don't have a driver's license. I don't drive. That's how I know they're all on the little bikes and hover things, okay?
And that brings them closer to the people so they can be more responsive
Right.
to what
Yeah,
that
no.
shop
Right.
owner says.
You don't look like no bad.
A friend of
ass
mine
with a
was
car.
on a foot beat
that's what
in
I mean.
Camden as a Camden police officer, and he said that the shop owners loved them. They begged them to come in. They would say, "Hey, come in here and have a soda."
I'm just scared of getting
Stay
ran
right
over
here.
by the
Stay right here.
hoverboard.
Stay right here. They wanted the officers on foot there. And
They call it segways.
a friend of mine, his
they're called
business
what?
moved to Camden. They were in Mount Laurel. They moved to Camden. Big brand new building.
Right.
And one of the things when they're going through because there was tax breaks that they got to move the company there, which was one of the biggest reasons. But part of the negotiation is the police department's there.
Right.
And they said, we cannot have our women walking from our building to the parking lot getting jacked in the parking lot.
Right.
So whatever you have to do to make the police and lighting and all that stuff safe, we're moving to Camden. There's already a big uproar in our office population about wanting to move from nice Mount Laurel to Camden.
Waterfront properties are like 1,600 there, like office waterfront properties in Camden.
Yeah, so they have to make it safe.
Yeah.
Right? Or nobody's going to want to move there. Nobody's going to
That's
want to
what I mean.
there.
So how is it to fund it when like it's, you know what I mean?
They had a plan. So
No.
it's
I
a
did not
plan.
say that
There's a plan.
there was that they took a very hardcore approach to a way to kind of turn their city around and turn the police force that they had there at that time around. They said, okay, this is not working. I'm not saying that they quote unquote defunded the police.
It's a misnomer.
They took
It is. That's it.
they took a very whatever she just said.
What you say?
It's a misnomer. So
and what's that machine called? What's that hoverboard called?
It's a segue.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a misnomer because again,
Say it
defunding the
again.
police
Say
is
that word again.
misnomer.
Jeffrey Dahmer. What you say now?
She's gonna hit you. She's gonna hit
Misnomer.
you.
So misnaming
misnomer.
what the concept is.
Misnomer. Okay, I'm
No,
trying to learn
Preem
these-
really does have a problem
I'm
with
trying to
some
learn
words.
these words, man.
No, it's literally it literally means like missing like more or less a misplaced name.
That's why we
So,
have
like,
smart people on
when-
this show, man.
So defund the police is exactly what Mike was saying. It's about reallocation
Of the money.
resources,
Right.
in terms of spending and like when we
Like
talk
Corey
about
said, sexy term.
like when we talk about
Somebody like that,
policy
too.
and we talk about responsible government and talk about budgeting. This is an issue all over the country. This is what needs to be looked into more, is how government spending is affecting people and what resources can be reallocated within the same budgets.
How about we defund the criminals?
What?
Let's make
That's-
dope.
that's-
That's what we've been trying to do this whole entire time,
Raise the
bro.
prices of dope so dope dealers
No.
don't want to buy it no more.
That's how we're. That's why
Let's
marijuana.
defund the OGs.
That's why weed is becoming legal. Weed is legal.
We got to defund
Don't
the
you
OGs.
talk about that.
Because
Almost.
I
Don't
Don't
personally
you
think-
ever talk bad
I
about
think we
weed.
failed our young, like it. You know, when we were coming up, we about the same age and same age bracket. If you really wanted to campaign to be a thug, the thugs would not stop you. But if they would not encourage you to become a thug, if you were smart, they wouldn't be like, look at the nerdy boy with the books. They'd be like, yo, y'all do not touch him. Let him go to
He's
school.
gonna go places
you
in
go to
life.
school. You on the basketball court, he's really good. Please do not shoot guns while he's shooting this basketball. Young boy, you keep
Small
on
towns
shooting.
cherish-
We
they
gonna make
cherish
sure
them.
you gonna make sure. That's how Allen Iverson got here.
Yeah.
That's how Will Smith became Will Smith. The thugs protected him, and now the thugs are. I don't know, they're coming out the vagina as thugs. And it's just a world of young 16, 17-year-old kids that are just hoodlums. And there's nobody to stop them. They like, their old heads is telling them to.
Because none of the parents are raising anybody. Because television.
Police, you fix them.
Because
They
television.
shoot us.
We can't fix them.
Television and internet are now raising children, not parents.
Yeah, you may have heard me say it earlier.
Definitely these
all those
YouTube.
faith leaders, all those city leaders, all those town leaders, all those heads of households that were walking around holding hands, leading these voices. Who do we want? George Floyd. When do we want him alive? And all those people that are holding hands. They should have been there every day, making these kids not stand on corners, not robbing cars, not making the city unsafe.
We scared
Make
of
them go to school. That's what they should have been doing. If the police are scared of them, they can scare the kids. They can scare the gangs too.
But
Turn in the gang members. Get it done. They can do it themselves. You can clean up your entire city yourself if you want to.
Now, do you think that works with police too? You think the good guys can really turn in these asshole cops?
They're making it much easier to do that and not have to face the social pressure that officers did in the past.
Like,
with body
okay,
cameras.
right?
With,
That's your
changing
television.
laws.
That's your reality show.
Can Corey, can I get your opinion on a
Please.
scandal in my hometown?
Do you want to do this on the air?
No, probably not.
They know where you
You
live.
make me have to say something.
All right, you're right. I just thought about that. I was like, after the show, we're going to talk about a scandal.
Yeah, the
in my
microphones are on.
I said after the show. I said after the show.
And if you guys got questions in the chat room, I know you're listening. I see when you're listening attentively. Ain't nobody talking, so I know y'all still the numbers are there. Y'all listening, and I appreciate y'all listening. But y'all, just like y'all do any other time, please join in and ask a question for Safetyman. I'm just asking, like when I interview somebody, my whole thing is everything I want to know about what this person is expertise is. I'm a fan. I'm just asking
Safetyman.
Fan questions. You know what I mean? But go ahead.
Do you think? All right, I'm just going to ask questions.
Yeah.
All right, now that marijuana is legal and it's going to be like alcohol, what's your opinion on it? Do you think that one is more dangerous than the other?
Having never smoked marijuana, I
You've
don't know
never
what
smoked
I've
ever?
been a cop since I was 20.
That's insane.
I know.
To me.
And he was a good cop.
I was a cop when I was 20. We got drug tested every year. I fortunately, God bless me, I was raised in an area where I never had anybody offer to me. I can't say that had somebody offered to me, I would have said no. I like to think I would have said no, but never had that opportunity. Never had to make that choice.
Got ya.
Right now, I've been retired for 2 years.
But with the statistics that you know about it, because I mean, like,
It seems like alcohol causes more crashes. However, and then there's this term, I'm going to say this term, it's like defund the police. It's gateway drug, right? It's gateway drug. And then people will say marijuana is not a gateway drug. And I will say they're probably right. But I will say this. You find me somebody who does harder drugs, I can almost guarantee they did marijuana first. But not everybody who first does marijuana progresses to harder drugs. So while it may not be a gateway drug, it certainly isn't the best thing that we want to get people to do.
I mean, I use THC to get off of heroin.
Exactly. So, but I don't know what your first drug was.
Well, I mean, heroin's a pretty bad one.
No, what's your first?
But it wasn't your first.
What was it? You
picked
didn't.
up.
Alcohol was my first drug.
It probably was
and
weed.
then no, it was pills. I snorted pills first.
But I think with gateway drug, and it is
I couldn't do weed because it smelled.
It's a sexy
and
drug.
I couldn't.
It's a flashy
I
word.
couldn't
Yeah.
smoke
But-
weed for the longest time because it stunk, and I had to do stuff that like you couldn't tell I was doing. Do you get what I'm saying?
But certain people are predisposed, just mentally, physically, their upbringing, they're predisposed to chasing a high. So truthfully, anything that is mind altering in any way, shape, or form can be that gateway. Whether it's whatever you are offered, presented to yourself, or presented to from friends or family or whoever growing up, whatever you're presented with, whether it's alcohol, whether it's could be no-dos, you know what I mean? It could
What's
be
a no-dos?
caffeine pills that truckers used to take all the time to get them all.
I've never even
you know,
heard of that.
Whether it's cocaine.
I heard of
When I was younger, we used to chop up no-dos.
Like it's Red Bull, except it was a pill back then.
I love Red Bull.
I'm showing my age with no-dos.
I shouldn't.
But my eyes and witness of the difference between alcohol and weed, it seems like weed are more calmer, sillier, fun, happy.
Happy, horny, hungry.
The drinking will get you to fighting, cussing, When I drink, I cuss out the police. I ain't care.
Hey, that's what I said. Alcohol tends to lead to more problems.
This is my thing, right? With weed, it's happy, horny, hungry. For
like
real.
that.
And with alcohol, you're either fucking me, fighting me, or like we're like, yeah, it's bad.
Whoa.
Well,
that's what I mean. Like, so
why everybody man face was like, I just want to drink right now.
I just love your.
I'm
sometimes. Oh my god.
for real though. Like, I'm not a very nice person when I drink. Like, yo, sometimes I
Fight me, fuck me up.
fight me, fuck me, or get the
yourself.
fuck away from me. That's me when I drink.
Lord have mercy. But
this whole thing.
But
this whole
that's
thing-
only when I'm drunk. Only when
I want to go
go
off of both
wrong.
of you. I want to go both of you.
Okay.
Because Supreme said I'll curse off the police. We know what you'll do when
I
you're
peed
drunk
on
or
a-
something.
I peed on a cop's shoe drunk.
I've never been. I don't know what it is about me that's
You're just
different. I could be totally shit faced.
Nice guy.
Cop shows up. Like I'm like, sir, how you doing? Like maybe it's the way I was brought up. But like I used to be out with buddies of mine, like we'd be at the corner Wawa or something drinking, and a cop would show up because somebody complained inside the store that these kids are loitering outside. All my buddies would get arrested but me. Because
you were a good guy.
I right up I am. I'll never understand that whole thing of like being intoxicated and a cop shows up and you want to curse him off. Like I'll never get that.
To me, alcohol just gave me the ram.
I hit on them and they just leave me alone and let me go usually.
Fuck me, feed me, alcohol me, or fuck out my face.
I'm usually like, I don't know. I play like
I've shot
innocent.
my face
Yo,
with
first of all, I had a warrant in my hometown for over 3 years, a felony warrant, and all the police officers would wave to me, say hi to me, and ask me how my day was, knowing I had a felony warrant for the past 3 years.
Wow.
So what does that tell you?
They're men.
They're lazy.
Hi.
They're men. They're
How
guys.
are you?
They
That would be a nice-
they're horny.
Who would make their sandwich? No, I'm kidding.
But have you ever been flashed, safety man? You know, like
Flashed?
to get out a ticket. Like, look here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you see, it happens a
work.
lot. Does
didn't
it not
work.
happen a lot?
I'm on body camera. It doesn't work.
But does it still not happen a lot, though?
Oh, not a lot.
No,
Not
but girls
periodically.
offer a lot.
Oh yeah,
He's
especially
like,
when
oh,
we're
yeah,
arresting them for DWI. When
And
we're
he be
arresting
walking,
women
they
for
be trying to walk
DWI,
all cute
they try to
and
reach
fall
back and grab your junk, and I'm like,
Oh my God! Yo, wait for that's ballsy. That's bold.
Pervert ass.
Yeah, he's like,
Fuck, if I'm going in for like DUI,
You might as
I
well.
might go
I might
like
as well
I might give a
That
little.
don't work for you, asshole.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I
Get your ass out of the car,
can't.
Chad.
Wait. Is that a gun in your pocket? Or you just happy to see it?
look, can it be both?
For real.
Can it be both?
Click,
Can't
click,
even-
bang. There got to be some of the fun side of the police.
Yeah.
Yo, I can only imagine the shit you hear and
that
say.
we got stopped by a cop on going to Virginia with Judah Priest, and he's part of the Wu-Tang affiliate family, and the guy was so excited to let us go. He was like, "Yo, wait till they find out." I just stopped the guys from because we was on our way to shoot that video.
Yeah.
We had our flyers with us, and he was just so happy to meet us. And of course, Judah was like, he just got caught up. He was like, "Yo, ask him, do he want a picture?" I was like, "Hell no, he don't want no picture. We get the hell out of here, man. Thank you,
Let's go,
officer.
Let's go.
Appreciate
Yo,
you."
you sound like me.
But
the
he
last
was
3
really
days.
happy. He was.
I'm gonna show my age now. I stopped Jerry Stackhouse when he played for the Sixers. Way
wow.
back in the day.
Who was
I said,
that?
"Sir, step out of the car." And he's about 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
And I was like, "You get back in the car, sir."
You let him go?
Yeah, let him go.
He's like,
was
yeah,
cool.
let him go.
He was cool. He was cool. And I also stopped Corey Clement when he's the Eagles running back.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool, super cool. I said, "All right, man. Yeah, we're good."
Well, a lot of these
Fist
guys
bump,
live
we're
around
good.
here.
Yeah.
A lot of athletes live over here in Jersey, and wow, that's cool.
Actually, I'm friends with Jeremiah Trotter's brother, Nick.
Oh yeah.
Nicky Trotter
Yeah.
from around the way.
Yeah, he was my
You
bouncer.
smoke dope? No, I'm just playing. I was just playing.
No.
I was just playing. I was
No.
just playing with you, Liz. I don't know. I don't know him.
I seen him on a Segway.
No.
He was wearing a little hat.
A little hat.
Little head,
No.
little head Segway, drive him up. See, that's with me if I was drunk.
You'd be on a Segway with a little hat.
No, I would be yelling out in the middle of the street. You little Segway driving, little hat.
Yeah, well, I don't care. They almost. I don't care. They should.
Come over here,
Whatever
let
they
me pee on
are,
your leg.
stop trying to run people over. We're all
be
trying
like,
to get to
"Come
the
on,
same
Brandon,
place
let's be
at the
nice."
same time. You don't need to be in such a rush on that little
This
fucking
is
thing.
actually funny. That's actually funny.
I'm being
little
serious.
hat.
You don't need to try to fucking be in a rush on. Like we're all going to the same
I want to
place.
know how when they catch a criminal. Or would you
Yeah, how do they
detain
take
them?
them in?
I mean, I'm just saying you get them.
No, they'll call a
Oh,
car.
hold on, wait.
Call
Do they
somebody to
take
call
them
a
in
car.
and then like drag them?
Yeah, hold on.
Because that would be
They
hilarious.
stand on it together. You hold on to
Yeah,
their
like the
shoulders.
pegs.
Because I used to
Oh,
hate.
like pegs, like you
Yeah.
know what I mean on the bikes.
I used to be like, yo, this cat got a bite. You
Nah,
know, you
they'll call a car for
you either
that.
gonna run and catch me and leave your bike to get stolen by these cats out here, or I'm out.
You think they do leave the bike though? Like drop the bike and run?
I
No,
mean, if they really
we're
think
trained
they
to
can get you.
ride with the bike and go, in the same path that the person goes on the bike.
But what happens if like they like jump?
There you go.
Like,
We'll throw a bike over the fence. We'll throw the bike over the fence.
fucking hate
I
them
seen a
things.
cop beat the hell out of somebody with a bike.
All I'm
we
thinking-
could use it in defense too.
Yeah, I seen
And
it.
these-
He
and
was
these,
blocking.
riots.
How
Yeah, he was
fast do
doing
they
his-
even
he
go?
was
Like,
I'm sorry, but the one thing I'm thinking right now is Paul Blart
Mall
Mall
cop.
Cop.
There you go. Right there, the mall cop.
Thank you.
Hey, there was one scene where he was like going to catch somebody and he just started like trying to move forward
And
and
go
it was
faster.
Just, and it wasn't going.
It wasn't going. Yeah.
So did you ever? So this is what you always
That
wanted
looks
to
like
be?
Camden County.
That,
That really does look like
A
outside
police
of the
officer?
college.
What do you want to be when you grow up? I wanted to be an entertainer all my life.
No, I
You
kinda want
are.
to be an entertainer now, but
Well, you are an entertainer now.
Oh, you are
You don't
too.
know Corey's on television.
like
with
somebody
it.
who teaches.
He has
now.
the
I wanna be
Corey
like keynote
Jones
speaker.
show.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
Come on the show.
And I was on the show. We had some good tips back and forth on how to be cool on camera.
He gave me the best tip ever. He said,
And his
"Corey, when
whole
you tell
game
the story,
changed."
Yo, this is the best tip ever. He says, I know this. You're new at this, Corey. He says, when you're talking, don't talk to that camera. Pretend you're telling your best friend this
That story,
story.
yeah.
He said, pretend you're talking to your best friend. He said, yo, I was around the way last night and this XYZ. He said, that's how you should. And it helped me
I look
so
at I look
much.
at Corey now. He is so relaxed.
Oh,
He
yeah.
is talking to. I mean, he on Fox.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it is no weed.
He on
No
Fox
weed.
weed.
No weed.
He be
No
like,
weed.
hey, like he's just
know
so
what?
relaxed because he's talking. I see.
I
he
salute
probably
you
talking
on
to
that
Mike Check.
because I can't do nothing with no
Mic
weed.
check.
I see. Right. But Keith from up the block gave me that advice. But yes, he's a WRVN.
RVNTV.tv. RVNTV. Radio Vision Network.
So check out Corey. Let them know. This is what I always forget to do. I get so into the interview, and we got plenty of time, but I always forget to let the guests tell us their social media and their
Oh, a
contact
guest asked a
information.
question.
Let's get to the questions first.
Brad asked Corey, how hard is it to do your job while you have people screaming in your face and disrespecting you, basically trying to bait you into a response?
You shoot them.
That's a fantastic question.
You shoot them. What's wrong with you, Chad?
Brad.
Brad, thanks for that question, Brad. It's a great question, and we have to have emotional stability as a police officer to be able to handle that. So as a supervisor, and as a police leader, as a use of force instructor, and as a verbal judo instructor, we try to tell our people, just be disinterested in what the crowd is saying. Focus on your job, get the person under control, get them in custody, control cuff search, and get them out of there. Get away from the crowd so we don't have a continuous target for the crowd to be reacting to. After the shooting in Ferguson with the hands up, don't shoot, that when that lie, which is proven to be a lie, when that was coming out, when we would have to arrest people, we would have people come around and yell, and you start yelling while we're dealing with people, hands up, don't shoot, hands up, don't shoot. So I just told my officers, just ignore them. Just ignore them. If the actual person we're dealing with was doing that, hands up, don't shoot, I go, oh, thanks for helping out, sir. I'm really glad to see that you don't have any weapons in your hand. I appreciate your cooperation. Now, can you do me a favor? Can you come over so we can clear this up? So we'd use it against them. We would be
You're a
prepared
great
for it.
mediator.
If they put my hand
You
there,
are
you got
a
me,
great
man.
mediator.
You got me.
Yeah, so that's the best way to do that, is to be disinterested, don't get sucked into it. Just like you tell your kids, sticks and stones,
break your bones. But
you ain't gonna call me a name that I haven't been called yet.
You. Ain't what they call you, is what you answer to.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Corey,
Yes,
is this why they have to have that? Is this a thing, a real thing, the psychological test?
We've always had a fitness for duty. Yes.
To become a cop, you have to go through the psychological.
Always.
Yep. You know what I seen? Me and my lady was watching it the other night. Deep Cover. And he was taking the guy who was a regular officer, and they wanted to see if he was going to be able to handle this deep cover operation. And they asked the guy, little white guy who was going to be the supervisor, he's like, hey, what's the difference between a black man and a nigga? And anybody who didn't get the job told him, like, motherfucker, start choking him, and he didn't get hired. But he's like, what's the difference between a black man and a nigga? And he's like, the black man would be the one that answers you, and the nigga would be the one that's whatever the answer was. But that's like part of the psychological.
They didn't ask me that, but they did ask me a lot of really in-depth questions.
Because you can get some racist nowadays. We got that small pocket of that I won't call them gentlemen. I don't even want to disrespect gentlemen.
We hire from the same hiring pool that every other company does. So unfortunately, we get.
But you believe it or not, man, it's Proud Boys that are judges, cops, lawyers.
We hire
but that's everywhere.
I'm just saying, like, you
That's
know,
everything
these
and
guys are
everywhere.
everywhere. The Ku Klux Klan main mission was we don't want to be like the gangbangers, because most gangbangers are we gonna be in the streets till we dead or 60, or we gonna be old
they
men.
wanted to excel out of there.
We want you to be. We want to have Ku Klux Klan members in police, college. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We want y'all to do well, so we can be in all aspects of life.
Yeah,
and we are. But you know
I
what
will
I'm saying?
say, having worked in 4 law enforcement agencies and being black, I have never had any overt or subliminal acts of racism perpetrated against me, nor have I been asked to keep anything like that quiet.
Okay.
At any time over 27 years of law enforcement, I've never
That's a
I've
beautiful
never
thing.
witnessed anything racism and racial. I've seen asshole cops, and I've had to discipline asshole cops.
Right.
Part of my job was internal affairs.
Right.
But to have somebody go out and target somebody solely because they're black,
right,
it's because the person was an asshole who happened to be black,
right?
Right, not because they were black.
Now, how about the civilians? Have you encountered like
I've had
a lot of the civilians
well, when
go
I was
crazy?
I've had civilians say, "Is there a white cop that I can deal with?" I've had that every once in a while. I've had black civilians say, "Hey,
we
you
got some
using
small
Uncle Tom?"
cats coming over here with the segways. Come on, deal with him.
Yup. Chad needs you.
Small,
Chad needs you. What is it? Segway.
Segway.
Chad needs you.
We need a segue. All one. Segue.
Well, I'm gonna say that actually throws bureaucratic representation out the window. In some ways, just because of what you just said. So bureaucratic, representative bureaucracy. Basically, the term
That's our smart
is,
homie.
So basically, the term is meant to say when you have people of similar class, race, gender identities in government, whether that be police, whether that be municipalities, what have you. A lot of it's studied on police and whatnot, but basically that means like when you have similar characteristics, people are more likely to comply because they feel represented,
comfortable
in government or in areas where they typically wouldn't have been represented, or they feel disenfranchised. But what you just said kind of throws that concept a little bit out the window, because sometimes there has been disputes on it. I remember there was a couple articles I read back in one of my classes, and it really didn't make a difference like what the cop's race was at times, whether or not people actually complied with the law.
I would again use my 27 years of working in the one town I worked in Mount Laurel had $1 million homes, and we also had the most hotel rooms in the state of New Jersey, second of any jurisdiction. God. So we dealt with every race, gender identity, class, socioeconomic, everything. I like I said, I dealt with $1 million sports players to people who were homeless.
There was
and everybody in
prostitute
between.
rings on 38 constantly.
And it was how you approached people.
Right.
Was the most important indicator of whether I was going to gain compliance or not.
Yep, that's
the
what
two
the
most
articles
important
were
things was
saying.
how I approached them and what state of mind that they were already in.
Right.
Again, verbal judo for 35 years has been saying all people want to be treated with dignity and respect. And I'm a big believer in that.
That's dope.
And I don't care what you're doing, saying whatever, you could have just whatever. I'll say, excuse me, sir, I'm Sergeant Jones with the Mount Laurel Police Department. The reason I need to speak to you is, I do that with everybody. My wife used to go on car stops with me in Bluetooth and listen to my car stops. And she go, you were just so nice. And people would respond nicer.
That sounded so calm, and so I'm not gonna lie, like just you saying that, like
Yeah, you're right.
I was like, yo,
I was gonna put my head on his chest.
That was actually that was very comforting the way you said that, though.
Technically, that actually.
That's why he's safety man.
That is why. That's why I want every law enforcement officer.
You think
in
we
the
have
country to be
anybody
able to
over here?
do
We
that.
ain't got reckless man in here. We got safety man.
We got reckless girl right here. Reckless girl is right here.
Yo, where's my safety glass? Where's my safety glass?
I don't know. That actually reminds me of like a different type of representative.
I'm offended. I literally just go to work and come home, and this is like the first place I've
You're
been.
offended? Did you use hand sanitizer?
I bought you guys hand sanitizer and soap.
I see stinky people that give people cologne. I be like, why you ain't put some on before you got here?
Yeah, man.
I got one last thing I want to talk to
God,
Safety
I love
Man
you
about.
guys.
Yes, sir.
So I'm huge on TikTok in terms of like I'm addicted to it. I watch it all the time.
Are you
Like,
really?
crazy? Like literally hours a day.
I can't.
on TikTok.
I never knew this about you.
And one of my favorite things to watch is, and there are some people that actually know the law and they kind of use the law against police officers. And there's certain times when you see police officers that don't know the law and citizens that know it way more than they do. But then you've got what's even funnier than that. Now that is funny when the people go to actual like the station and they're fucking with cops in the parking lot, knowing that the cop can't do anything. It is funny. I'm sorry, it is. And I know it's probably frustrating for the cops.
Very frustrating.
But it probably is.
Like it
but,
happened to me before.
probably.
Oh my God! Really?
Well, I want to get into that. But it's even funnier because now people see this on social media with the people who know what they're doing, and then they try to mimic it to cops. And just nope, you are not. You have no idea what you're saying, no idea what you're doing,
crash and burn.
and now you just screwed yourself over because now you're on the ground in handcuffs, and I have a body cam on. They're gonna see everything you just did. That's the funnier thing.
Yeah.
But I do want to get into the thing that you're saying that has happened to you, where somebody knows the law very well and they use it against you, and it's frustrating. So, how do you react to that?
So again, knowing the law. So when there's a lot of different groups in the United States. There's some are called freemen, different type of separatists, people that really educate themselves on certain aspects of the law and try to use it in their face. Like they say that they don't respect the only law that they respect is the county sheriff, because if you go back in history, the county sheriff was the only official that was actually elected. That
like Freemasons.
Yeah, no, not necessarily Freemasons, but freemen societies are separatists that don't want to follow common law.
Like mountain men.
Yeah, mountain men. Yeah.
Oh,
so they'll write a paper license plate and put it on their car. You pull them over. They don't have any documentation.
They got their own law.
And they'll say, "Am I free to leave or am I under arrest? Am I free to leave? Or am I under arrest?" They say it over and over and over again. So we would get, when we became smart and realized, all right, we have to have an answer for this because now it's on body camera. So we got directives from our legislators, our body of government, said, all right, so what's the law? Motor vehicle stop. It is a stop. Now they're obstructing a stop. That's a criminal activity. So now, yes, they are under arrest if they're not going to comply with what the law prescribes.
Right.
So then we would learn the ways to enforce that.
It's like you counterattacking.
Exactly. Say, sir, and we would do verbal judo. Say, sir, Sergeant Jones of the Mount Laurel Police Department. The reason I'm stopping you is you have a cardboard license plate in your vehicle. In New Jersey, you're required to have one issued by one of the 50 states or the District of Columbia. Is there any reason you don't have one, sir? I don't believe in that. I have my own thing. Okay, sir, we have a couple options for you. You can give me the actual registration to your vehicle.
Whip your ass.
I can write that down, and you can get out of here. Or, sir, this option is not going to be so good for you. I can tow your vehicle, impound it, and search it, and then determine where it's actually registered. I'd like to think you take the good option and just provide me with your registration. Does that sound good, sir? I'm not talking to you until you get the sheriff here. Okay, sir, I can't get the sheriff here. Is there anything I can say at this time to gain your compliance? I like to think so. You seem reasonable. I like to think you work with me. And I've given him how many times to comply with me?
Was he old or young?
4 times. Whoa. After that, you're under arrest. I mean, why am I going to sit there and waste time, tie up traffic, have him develop a plan to potentially hurt or escape? Yeah, right? My police are needed in other places. There's other emergencies. The world does not stop because he is doing this.
Acting a fool.
I gave him numerous times, and that was the super condensed version.
Right.
That would definitely go viral if that was on video.
And that's my goal as a verbal judo instructor, is to put that on viral.
Now, how
that's
about
my
this?
goal.
Have you heard this from your? I know because you're not there, as far as police officer wise. How do you? How are you? Because you still got to give advice with your training for them. How would you give the advice to the people that refuse to wear masks? Like is it against the law to wear masks or not? Like if I go in I won't say wow because if they got the sign.
When people walk in my store, I throw a mask at them.
Right, but I'm
saying,
serious. Like, I don't want this job. You know what I mean?
But if you're walking into a store, I'm sorry to answer for him. And you might have a different answer than me, I've said this over and over again because you have this conversation.
I put it
Once
on.
you go into an establishment that somebody is an owner of a business, it's not against the law in any way, shape, or form. Now there might be mandates put forth by the governor that have to be enforced, but if you're going into an establishment that's their policy, or they are mandated to have you to have a mask on while you're in their store, they can kick you out.
Yeah, that's why.
Am I correct in that? Wait, let me check with him.
It sounds good to me. So is an executive? It's all jurisdictional wise.
Because
every state, every county, every township, again, it's its own set of laws, right? So Pennsylvania may be different. Philadelphia is different because you're a Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Philadelphia has city council and all that. So in New Jersey, it's executive order, and then there's public health orders. Right. So public health can issue certain stay-at-home orders like quarantines and wearing masks. And then what you said, Mike, was private property. So private property,
right?
They can ask you to leave. If you don't leave, then you're defying trespassing. So if you're not following the laws, like no shirt, no shoes, no service, remember those signs are older than you and I. and they could ask you to leave for not wearing a T-shirt. And
Damn,
if you
that's
didn't,
old.
They could call the police, right? Exactly.
I remember 7-Eleven.
Written
But
with,
they
a,
could
with
call-
a rock.
Right, they could call the police, and then people are saying you're arresting me for not
Yeah,
wanting
I'm
to
an
wear a mask,
American.
but that's not why they're arresting you.
Right.
Now they're now arresting you
That's
for
just what the
trespassing.
headline says.
Right.
That's what the headline says, just to make us look bad.
Now, my
So-
my last question before we get out of here.
Yes,
Plus,
sir.
I want you to get to your social medias
Yes, sir.
before you go. Don't let me forget that. But the last question of the day is
Safetyman.co. Safetyman.co.
Yeah, I mean, how many times did he tell me that? 4 times. So that makes me comply that.
Yeah,
need to
you
go to
better
Sexy
stop.
Man's- See,
And I know I have
That's how Donald Trump got elected. He kept saying things 3 times.
It was like,
Yeah, I've seen that. Just say it 3 times.
Yep.
everybody says third time's a charm.
So the question is, let me forget the damn question.
No, I didn't.
All right. Vaccination. I know Mike.
I saw Mike's eyes roll.
Mike gonna take it tomorrow if he Mike gonna take it
Are
tomorrow.
you getting
if it's
it?
available.
Are you getting the vaccine?
Like are the police officers required to take it, or the police officer training? Like you can't train us, Mr. Jones, if you're not vaccinated. Or is it like I heard that they're gonna have army people like, yo, you're gonna have to take it, knocking at your door.
That's
like
called
you know,
mandate.
Martial law is that something
Military
you've
is
heard?
different than municipal law enforcement, which is different than state law enforcement.
But
now,
they-
all
but they
healthcare
pass it to you?
workers, all health, we were not required to get the flu vaccine. We were strongly encouraged to get the flu vaccine.
Right.
We were strongly encouraged. It was provided to us for free every year.
Right.
They had 3 days where you could go down and go get it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out of the loop when it comes to COVID. I'm not sure if they're going to mandate officers take it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there'll be some sign off, let's see if you have the antibody. Let's have some more science to determine if you've already been exposed to it. Now you have the antibody. You don't need it. There's still going to be some science. On my show, you can go to my show. You'll see 2 doctors that I'm friends with. Both got COVID vaccines live on TV.
Okay.
On my show.
You ain't join them?
I wasn't allowed to yet because
All
I'm
right.
not considered a
Essential.
frontline essential worker at that point.
I'd be like, shit, you're gonna give me this one.
But they got it. They stand behind it.
Put,
and
one
they
in the bag for me too, okay? Or I'm putting you on the show.
They stand behind it. That's why they want to get it. They worked in the ER throughout the whole COVID pandemic from when it first started until now, continuing. Like, we believe the importance of getting as many people vaccinated and reaching herd immunity is so important to getting back the world generally, America specifically, back to its way of life, that we will come on your show, Corey, and get it on live TV.
But no requirement for the police to come up on.
I don't
and be like,
know the answer to
take
that
this,
yet.
or you going to jail?
Oh, you mean for the police to enforce it on a private?
Yeah, you're talking about mandate.
No, that won't happen.
Okay,
that won't happen.
And also,
I don't see that ever happen.
I'm just saying, man. People's like, yo,
they could add it to the list.
Add that to the law, like
they could add it to the list of your kid can't go to school.
Right.
Your kids can't go to school unless they already have certain immunizations.
Right.
Right. That's in every school. So they
and
could add
certain
it
jobs.
to that.
And certain jobs. I mean, it just doesn't have to be healthcare workers. Your job can mandate that you have to have this done in order to work
No
here.
shirt, no t-shirt, no
because
shirt.
then it becomes a health issue for their workers. So it can be that. But I don't see in any way, shape, or form the government being like everybody has to get that. That would cause more unrest than this friggin' presidential election.
Which would be hard to do.
It's hard to do.
This isn't Germany.
Didn't even Governor Murphy say that nobody was going to be required to?
Well, they say everything.
Yeah.
Why does Liz hate Germany?
I love Germany. I'm German.
And
I'm saying this isn't Germany when you're saying when it comes to like having to do something. You know what I mean?
And with the pandemic, of course, crime has risen. Are you personally? I'm not talking about Safetyman or Officer Jones. Are you Corey Jones recommending people go get guns?
Recommending
my
people
people are like,
make
yo,
good
get
choices.
you a gun. Get you a gun. I'm like, 2 guns have just fell in my lap. I'm gonna call my friend Safetyman, and we're gonna learn how to shoot these things properly. I mean, I'm a pretty good shot. You know, I'm like pool. I don't know how to play it, but I can get the ball in the hole. I can get the bullet in your chest.
And that's the best place for it.
Exactly.
Yes.
But yeah, I want to do it the right way. I'm gonna register. I'm gonna get it. You know, everything I need to do, get my license and all that. Because I don't. But if my guns in my house, somebody come in my house and I shoot them, I'm in my legal right though, right?
He's already.
Again, as long as you can articulate or indicate that you're in fear for your life or the life of some other person.
You got to
in
yell
your
it
house.
out, right? Like
You
You got to yell it out 3 times. You got to yell it 3 times.
No, you got to yell like, "Yo, is there somebody in my house?
So
I'm about to shoot you."
You should do that, and that's the way I train my clients. But I build each client as a separate individual. Each, like when I go and do consulting for a firm, that firm and a firm across the street might have a slightly different plan for active shooter or something. But yes, to your point, you should, just like police are expected to yell stop or I'll shoot.
I mean, I'm just gonna
If
yell,
we
"You're in
don't,
my
we just
house,
have
I'm
to
gonna shoot
indicate
you."
why. Part
Supreme.
of my plan is.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Go.
No, sorry. I just have this picture of Supreme. If you're going to shoot somebody, yell Jumanji. Just real loud.
I was
Yell
gonna shoot you on the
Jumanji.
porch.
No, you were supposed to yell Jumanji on New Year's Eve at midnight, so it would all be over.
They can figure that out.
I'll be like, Bob, come on.
At midnight on New Year's Eve, you were supposed to yell Jumanji.
Sorry for interrupting.
So 2020 was over.
I just had this. You ever get like a picture in your head that's so
gosh.
clear? I just had a picture of Supreme on a stair with a gun in his head yelling Jumanji 3 times.
But look.
Beetlejuice.
Oh my God! I myself am strange and unusual.
Safety man.
Safety man just pops up out of nowhere.
Hold on,
Supreme.
Yeah, Safety Man
real
with the
quick,
AK.
when you said I have a pretty good shot, the one thing I thought of was Hamilton and the song "I'm Not Throwing Away My Shot."
Now I'm gonna show you. I got to look at that tonight.
That was back with the 1-bullet guns.
I'm sorry, y'all. This show is off the chain.
We're a little.
One more time with your information. And is it cool? One day we get a little group session. And
Yes, in the spring would be fantastic.
Definitely. And we'll book up. Everybody, bring your gun, Mike. You got.
We're gonna go on a field trip.
No, what I'll do on that episode is tell you my idea for gun control and the way that I think that we can
Going on a trip.
I
put
can't
gun
wait.
control in
Rocket
there.
ship zooming through
Throwing marshmallows
the
at
sky.
each other.
I've got a plan for gun control that every person nobody can deny, but everybody hates.
What?
I can't wait.
All right.
What's your plan?
I can't tell you right now.
Why?
You
Yeah.
gotta wait for the next episode.
Next episode.
Oh,
Also,
okay.
if with the group, and you don't have a gun,
I can have some guns.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't have a gun, will you provide a gun or the store or whatever the shop?
Yeah,
Store.
I don't know what the thing is called.
We'll put it together.
The range. The range.
I was
It's
in
called a
Florida,
range.
and it's whatever. I went in the
It's open
store. It
season
looked
out
like
there.
Walmart for guns.
Yes,
it was like
yes.
every piece of gun on the wall, and I was like, and every salesperson had one on their hip.
Shut
and
up.
they like just like a dispensary. Only
Shut
thing
up.
was just because I was.
Oh, why
my
am I in
mind
New
was blown
Jersey?
in the dispensary. I was like, it's just weed around, and the people just telling you how to smoke it and what's the best weed. It was just the guns. It was just ARs, PRs, CREs.
Yeah.
It was assault rifles, pistols, and it was just like
Shotties.
Sir,
Stop! You're starting to get me excited.
when you get this
Right.
gun here, you pull this out and look. Look. Go ahead, and grab it. And I'm like,
So-
just being around that many guns and nobody
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to put me in jail was just crazy. But
Different state, man.
yeah, man. So I'm just saying, I'm just saying that for any of you that don't own a gun, like I'm trying to
Go to Florida.
I'm pop my little 25 and my
Yeah.
32, but. Yeah, they have guns there that you could use.
Once
you can-
COVID is over, right? They stopped renting guns at most ranges now because of COVID. So once public health says that they can do that, then they'll do that. But I have my own personal guns. So I have a couple pistols.
We'll do paintball.
Shotgun.
Yo,
Paintballs, too.
I would love that too.
Mess up my outfit.
And just
you don't be there
so
fry.
you guys know, we should do go-karts one day too.
But
How about
definitely.
segways?
I mean,
With little hats. With little hats.
all right. Only if we race.
Oh, we're always gonna race.
I'm saying only if we race, and we all have to be different colors.
But let's get COVID out the way. Pandemic out there. I'm already black, so
yeah, I'm like,
I can't.
You are?
I guess you're gonna have to have teams.
Says who?
shirts against no shirts, blacks against the whites.
Shut
Sorry,
up.
whites. We're gonna get you again. No.
Get you again.
But it's been a pleasure. Tell them
Thank
one
you.
more time how to get in touch with you.
Safetyman.co.
Wait, that's not fair. I would be in the middle.
What if you was in the middle?
What?
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 What are you talking
You
about?
said the Jews in the middle, so I'd be in the
I
middle.
ain't say nothing about no Jews in the middle.
She didn't say nothing about Jews.
Nobody said that.
Oh.
I was here the whole time.
You feel guilty?
I thought you said Jews in the middle.
I
Wow.
don't mess with Jews.
Next thing you know,
LBGT.
Supreme's kicked off the air.
I'm a Jew. I mean,
I don't want no trouble with the people that control the media. Because I am the media.
I mean-
and I don't want no trouble with them.
The media is your friend.
Yes. So you've been a pleasure, man.
Thank
did
you.
you have fun
Thank you.
again?
Always. Come on, man. You know that.
Did we get some serious topics done?
I think we got good information out
Mike,
there.
how we do?
We did.
I think we did good.
Because I see people in the chat room like, what's going on?
No. The last thing in the chat room was Gun control, yes.
That's by my business.
Yes. And before that, we got great advice.
But we had a lot of people in the chat room. We appreciate you all tuning in and having some fun with this.
Too.
But you know what? I think every time Safety Man's in here, not only do we get to some real answers for some tough questions, but we also have a great time every single time.
And in the words of Jocelyn, that's what she said about you. It was on the screen. She was like, I don't know what he talking about, but Lord have mercy. Yo, see y'all again next week. It's good to be back in the studio. Thank you, Liz, too, for coming through. Liz, what's your thing again? What's your name?
Lizzie Love is my stage name.
Lizzie Love.
Lizzie Love.
That sounds pornographic. But anyway, Lizzie 1.
What? I'm Elizabeth.
Lizzie bitch.
I'm Elizabeth.
I'm saying you see Liz 2.
Liz.
You had to be Liz 1.
Oh yeah, I am Liz 1. Yeah.
I was playing on the words.
Because I'm old.
I was just playing on the words.
I'm like 10. Well, I'm almost 10 years older. Holy shit.
Over her?
Yeah.
Wow, you older.
I think you're actually 8 years. So I'm 25.
That's still almost 10, homie. That's in girl years. That's almost 10.
Well, I must be. God damn, I must be y'all grandpa.
Why? How old do you think I am, Preem?
I think you're like 27, 28.
Oh, I fucking love you. I'm in like mid 30s almost.
Wow, you look good.
Thank
you
you.
moisturize well.
No, I don't at all. But okay.
Well, keep doing what you're doing. It's working. Mike, thank you as always for engineering. Safety Man, once again, you've been a great guest. As always, we'll have you back plenty of time. Anytime and all the time.
We love Safety Man.
Oh, yo, she all
for real.
Year
I'm like,
long.
when Safety Man comes.
When Safety Man comes.
When Safety Man comes.
Safety Man, it's a pleasure meeting you.
I know. This is about your third or fourth time here.
Yeah. I didn't even have to use GPS.
Now we're going. Now we're going to Safety Man show too.
Yes.
I mean, let's do it anytime, man. I would love it. That was a good show. That's a fun show.
So excited.
He's on his whole new talking to his best friend vibe. He got it going on, y'all. See y'all next week. Funky Contradiction. We are in the building. Toxic Radio always. I'm sorry. Toxic Entertainment.
Yes.